Hey, what's up? This is your Captain Jack Otieno, and I'd like to welcome you to Talk with J.O. Talk with J.O. is all about inspiring stories. I keep saying that everyone is important. Everyone has a story to tell. It just depends how the story is told. And we'd like to tell inspiring stories right here on this show. On this episode, I'm hosting a beautiful girl, brilliant mind. She's called Ashley Mutiso, and she's already here with me. Ashley, so good to see you.
It's good to see you as well.
Thanks for coming, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So Ashley and I go way back, way back, man.
Yeah, we do. 2012. We met at Bible study at CITAM.
Yeah.
So they kind of grouped us according to our birthday month, and we were January babies, so we were all put together. It was a really, really good Bible study group.
I enjoyed
it.
Still
was really
actually.
Good, yeah.
That's one of the best Bible study groups I've been a part of.
Yeah, I think it was super amazing.
Yeah.
And the fact that we're still friends, all of us still date, I think it's really awesome.
People were real.
Yeah, very real.
Very real. I would have real conversations with them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think like solid friendships also are built.
Yeah,
come
it's
up
true.
From that, so
Yeah, it's a very good thing.
Yeah. So thanks for coming. And also we've done a show together.
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
We have the Fix TV show and radio as well.
Yep.
We did that for about 2 years.
Yeah.
Super amazing time.
Yep.
Super amazing. I loved being on TV. I loved the conversations that we normally had, that we touched on so many various topics that were really close to our hearts and also very important for people's knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are the, I don't know what to say. I wanted to say sober mind, but you are the.
People say People say you can either be intense or insane.
Yeah.
You're somewhere. I would love to say I was intense, not insane.
I'll let the people who watch the show tell us. What I know is Ashley, if you don't know, she speaks her mind. You speak your mind like you speak.
I know.
Where did you get that? You speak your mind so boldly. Like, there are times we're doing the Fixed TV show. And I was like, hey, Ashley, we're on a Christian TV. Like, yes, speak your mind, but...
but there's nothing vulgar, at least.
No,
it was
of
like
course. No, it wasn't.
Because with Christians can be a bit
You have to be measured. You have to be measured.
So sometimes I feel like we've babied Christians so much, we don't really deal with the real issues. And sometimes it's very good to talk about things as they are.
I think I like that about you, especially when you're doing the show. I was sure you tell Ashley, what's your opinion about Trump? He will not use the H word, but he will. you see?
Those are good days.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's good to have you.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
On this show, it's a little bit different. On Talk with J.O., we get to hear people's stories. We get into people's worlds, get to hear their story, and hope to inspire someone through everyone's story. I believe you have a good story, and so that's what we do.
When you called me to do this show, I kept asking myself, so what do I have to tell people? Yeah, so I finished Michelle's book. It's like a week and a half ago, and I was like, towards the end of the book, she says that everyone's story is important, and it's important to tell your story. You could inspire others. I'm just paraphrasing, but I read that line and I was like, maybe Jackton is onto something here.
Come to think of it, I haven't read that book yet. I don't even know that line exists in that book.
Yeah, it's wow. The entire book is incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Michelle there.
Yeah.
Everyone is important, actually.
Yeah, it's true.
Everyone, poor, rich, you know, African, Caucasian, Asian.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Everyone is important.
It's true.
So you're important.
Thank you.
That's why you're here. So who is Ashley? Difficult question.
That's usually the most difficult question.
Yeah.
But I like to see myself as a daughter to two wonderful parents, a sister to two brothers, a sister-in-law also, and an aunt to two wonderful nephews. But other than that, I am a gender equality champion. Okay. I am a podcaster. I am a furniture maker. Yeah, we'll touch on that. And for work, I am a business development and partnerships consultant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good stuff, man. You got quite a lot of, you know, a lot going on in that portfolio. I
like having a lot going on.
But I like the description, you know, because it's balanced. You know, you business development, and then there's a business venture there of the furniture and the family bit. You know, I like that balance.
Yeah, I feel like family is like the top most important thing.
Yeah.
And then the rest just come, because the rest, you know, they change over time. Mm-hmm. Your career changes over time, your interests change over time, but family is constant. Mm-hmm. So those are the people who you look at first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's start from there. Let's start from family. Like, how was it for you growing up? And where did you go to school? Like, tell me a bit about it. Yeah. I think let's start from there.
Okay, so I grew up in South Sea. Okay. South Sea's finest.
All right. Uh-huh.
I think. But I grew up in South Sea. Yeah. So that means I went to a local school, Bellevue Primary School. Had a good foundation over there. Mm-hmm. I even remember some of the teachers who actually really did impact my life. Mm-hmm. From my first teacher, you'd not believe it, my baby brain remembers her. She's called Teacher Brenda. Teacher Brenda. Yeah, in baby class. I joined her class knowing how to speak Kikamba only. Would you imagine that?
You?
I know. Yet these days I'm those people who say, I hear, but I don't speak quite well. But I started speaking Kikamba as a kid.
I can't imagine.
Can you imagine? My mom was really determined to make us know our traditional language, which was good.
Yeah.
But then I got to school and everyone's speaking English and Swahili. And I freeze. You know, like in class, I'm just looking at people like...
Yeah.
And then the teacher called my mother because she thought I had a learning disability or something.
Okay.
Because she's like, this child can't be that quiet.
Yeah.
And my mother says, no, she's not speaking because she knows everyone doesn't know, no one knows Kikamba, and she's the only one who doesn't speak English and Swahili.
Yeah.
So I made it my life's choice to learn these things. So the first term I was keeping quiet, just looking at the area. Second term, I learned English, come back home speaking English. Third time, I come back home speaking Swahili.
Wow.
And smack in the middle of baby class, I was taken to nursery. Yeah, so my teachers thought I would go to nursery because, I don't know, probably they thought I was too smart for baby class, I don't know. But then in the middle of nursery, I was sick, so I was always on and off. Hospital back, so I had to go back to baby class because I think I lost a lot of time during that time, which is okay because my brother was in nursery. I didn't want to be in the same class as him, surely. Yeah. It's incredible when you grow at different stages, not on the same stage and you're different ages. So I was like, cool.
Yeah.
But then I went to Bellevue until class 5, and then I changed to boarding school. Okay. So I changed to boarding school because I had a conversation with a teacher called Teacher Judy. She was my computer teacher. And she said one day, she sat me down one day in class 5 and she said, you know what? I think you need a challenge academically.
Okay.
And I went home. I was 10 years old. I went home and told my parents, I think I need a challenge. I want to switch schools and go to boarding school.
Say what?
So my parents are like, you're sure? I'm like, yeah, I've thought about it. I think I want to go. My brother, on the other hand, is looking at me like, I'm going to kill you.
10 years old.
Yeah, I'm going to, because my dad was like, if you're going, he's going too.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to kill you. But yeah, so we went scouting for schools, ended up at St. George's Grassland Academy in Nakuru.
Okay.
Incredible school. So many people. But I think that's the school that completely challenged me. Challenged me, made me wake up and see that I wasn't the smartest person in the room. Yeah. It's a good realization, by the way. You know, it's a really good realization when you realize you're not the smartest person in the room and the other people who are brilliant, equally and even more.
It's humbling.
It's humbling.
Yeah.
It's really humbling. And I think that's why I was humbled. But at the end of the day, I loved it. I loved it because it sort of taught me how to wake up and just even work harder.
Yeah.
I made amazing friends, some of whom we're still friends till date from that school. It taught me a sense of independence and responsibility. Not that I liked it. By class 7, I was done. I was like, I want to go back to day school. And then I remember going back to my dad and saying, "Mi nataka kurudi. You know, I just want to go back to day school."
Such an assertive kid. Actually.
I know. And then, my dad says, he breaks my heart. And he says, "Mutano, you finish what you started."
I like that.
Life lesson. I've never forgotten that. So I always finish what I start.
Yeah.
And so I ended up finishing from there and went on to high school. Yeah. But then, I don't know if you remember, then we were doing... So I'll give you a brief history of why I thought I was probably the smartest kid in the room.
Yeah.
In class 3, the system was out of 700, and like now it's out of 500.
Yes.
And there's an exam after my mother chapered me for becoming number 3. She beat me. I've never forgotten that. I was still hurt because she never beat my brother. Yeah. And I remember the next exam I got 692 out of 700. Whoa. It was the highest the school had ever seen.
My goodness.
So you can imagine, this kid thinks that she's super smart.
Yeah, you only missed 8 marks.
Yeah, I only missed 8 marks.
That's crazy.
And even those 8 marks, I was like, nearly miss wapi. And then I moved to this school, it's like, they are brilliant people here.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. It's humbling, but it's also good for you to be able to motivate yourself to work hard. So then we were doing the province system. There's no county system then. So because I did my exams in Rift Valley province, I had to be called to a school in Rift Valley province. And for second selection, then maybe I could get into Nairobi. So first selection, I went to Marymount in Molo, stayed there one term, said I'm not going back.
Why?
I couldn't handle it.
What couldn't you handle?
It was too cold. It was too...
I see.
The food was horrible. There were no snacks.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I was a high school kid. On top of that, the thing that made me change my mind completely, the sense of security. The security just baffled me. There was an almost rape case.
So cold, food, security.
Security. There was a case where a student was almost raped by an outsider. Whoa. So when that happened, I was like, where? I need a way out of there. So I think that was the thing. When I went home, my parents thought I was joking during April holidays. Yeah. And when schools opened, I said, I'm not going back. And we stayed for a whole week. My parents were like, she's serious.
Yeah.
Ata shopping naendi kufanya. Yeah. So I think that's when they woke up and they're like, okay, let's just get schools.
Yeah.
So I ended up going to Moi Girls. I had a choice between Kenya High and Moi Girls. I chose Moi Girls. Probably not my best decision in life.
Yeah.
But yeah, I ended up at Moi Girls, which opened up my door to Strathmore. And Strathmore was actually one of my best years in school.
Okay.
Yeah.
What were you studying at Strathmore?
I was doing finance. I was doing finance.
So it was a bachelor of BA.
No, it was a BCom finance.
It was a BCom finance.
Yeah. Okay. So my major was finance. Easiest decision to make. I had the best professor who introduced me to finance. She's called Juliana. And she made it so easy. Like I knew I wanted to do finance from the moment I got in, but she just cemented that feeling. And so I did finance, and then I came and started working. But then in the Kenyan scene, people don't know how to differentiate finance and accounting. So what happened is that I ended up doing accounting.
A lot of accounting work.
Accounting work is basically, it's not challenging.
What was your first job?
My first job as an accountant in the advertising industry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the workplace is not bad.
Yeah.
The job wasn't challenging. So I was looking for ways out. I was like, my goodness, I need to do something else. But then your CV reads finance major, all your experiences as an intern and your first job, finance and accounting. So by the time you convince an employer to just switch you to a different place, I was finding it hard. But then something happened during that time. I got a scholarship to do a program, my master's program. It was a program in global management.
Yeah.
And for me, that was just like a second chance in my career. It was like, wow, now I can finally switch and do something different.
And how did that opportunity come? Like, were you searching? How did you get that opportunity?
Actually, this is a very interesting story. Last week, my friend sent me an email. He's been accepted into Duke School of Public Policy. I'm absolutely thrilled about it. Yeah. Why? Because when we were kids, when we were 18, we sat down.
Yeah.
And we knew we were not going to do our undergrad out of the country, but we had hoped for our grad school.
Yeah.
So we sat down and we wrote a list of the grad schools we wanted to go to.
Okay.
So we operated on that list.
Interesting.
And so when it came to almost fourth year, I remember I got an email from Fordham because I'd tried a business challenge the year before.
Yeah.
And they said, okay, you could try the business challenge this year and apply into grad school.
Yeah.
And then I tried applying to Duke, but then I was super broke. So I couldn't pay for the admission fee. It was $70 then, I remember.
Yeah.
70 or 75. And I was like, so I left the Duke application midway, by the way. And I used to get those, I think I still get those emails anyway, till date. And so when this Fordham one came, I was like, man, I don't have the money. So my friend, the one who's been accepted into Duke, surprisingly got the same email and forwarded it to me. So he texted me and he said, I think this would be good for you. Please apply. So now I'm just like, okay, maybe I should do it.
Yeah.
And I applied. I did everything. I did all these exams. I did the GMAT exams. I did so many things.
Yeah.
I did applications. It took me 2 months to write applications with the help of so many people.
Yeah.
People who I'm grateful till date for. One of them being one of my best communications professor. And I finally got accepted into the school. It wasn't easy, but I did get accepted. And I had to postpone my admission for that year because I didn't have finances to do it. And so the next year, I come to work one day very stressed in the morning. There was an accident along Langata Road. So we stayed in traffic for about 3 hours. You can imagine sitting in traffic for 3 hours in the morning. So I get to the office and I'm tired already. And I say, okay, let me give myself about 30 minutes before I work.
Yeah.
And then something just runs in my brain. And I'm like, let me write my programs manager an email and tell her I'm still interested in this program.
But
and I told her that time, this is the most interesting thing. I told her, don't worry about it. My father is going to pay for the program. What she didn't know, I was actually not talking about my earthly father who I love. I was talking about my heavenly father. But you don't explain such things. Like, my father is going to pay. Less than 30 minutes later, she emails me and she's like, there's a student from South Africa who was given a scholarship and they rejected it. Are you interested?
Whoa.
I kid you not. This is somebody I had been knocking on every single day in this world.
When you tell her, my father.
Yeah, here's my father doing his job right now.
Amazing.
I could not understand it. I could not. I remember calling my dad and he's like, I don't believe you sent me that email. And I forwarded the email.
That's incredible, Ashley.
And it was the most, I could not explain that feeling.
Wow.
But it just started that journey that forever changed my life.
What lesson or what message would you tell, because there's lots of people right now who finish high school or campus and, applying for scholarships abroad and they're like, I don't have the money, I don't have the especially you. By the time you're applying, you didn't even have all the finances.
I didn't even have any.
Yeah. But you still went ahead and applied.
Let me tell you something I told my brother the other day. I said, there's something that causes us not to achieve the things that we want to achieve. And those are mental roadblocks.
Yeah.
Because you've already decided in your mind that, I'm looking at my finances, I'm looking at the situation, I'm looking at the situation at home, and there's no way we can afford this.
Yeah.
And so you already cancel yourself before somebody else cancels you.
Yeah.
And one of the things I've always done is operated by faith. And sometimes my dad both my parents, they look at me and they're like, you're serious about doing that? And I'm like, yeah, it's going to work out, eventually.
Yeah.
Like an application I made recently to a school that my dad has been dreaming for me to go to.
Yeah.
And he kept on asking me, what are your chances of getting in? I said, let me apply. We'll figure out the chances when we get there.
I like that.
But the principle of operating by faith.
Yeah, and
that's what I've done.
You don't lose what you don't have.
Yeah, at the end of the day, that's what I say. Because I was telling me that if they don't accept me, cool. If they accept me, I applied. Awesome. As long as I applied and I put myself out there, we'll figure out the rest later. And that's what I do. Everything that I've done from actually first year was operating on the principle of faith. And God honors faith. That's what I've thought. That's what I've learned over the years. God honors faith.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, God honors his word above everything.
Yeah.
And faith is the substance of things hoped for.
Yeah, and unseen.
The evidence of things not seen.
Yeah.
So.
And the God says, without faith, you cannot please me.
You cannot please God.
Yeah.
Yeah, that last statement is very important.
Yeah.
Without faith, it is impossible to please God.
Yeah, you cannot please God.
Yeah.
So that's how I've always operated faith. And faith has had me do things that are sometimes crazy, but
I love it.
I enjoy doing
that.
things that are impossible.
Awesome. I love that. So what you don't know, man, so this girl, so this program, it got you to travel to do the program in different countries.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're doing it in
Belgium, India, and New York.
Yeah. And we got a chance to meet him
in Belgium. Yeah, that was an interesting case.
We have an interesting story. So we'll tell you about it when we come back after this short break.
Yeah.
Stay tuned right here on Talk with J.O., where it's all about inspiring stories. Catch you in part 2.